Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Parent Empowerment Summit. I'm Dr. Danielle Dupré, and I have the pleasure of interviewing Melissa Nohr today. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Melissa Nohr is a board-certified health coach, attorney, wife, and mother of 4. She's a prolific researcher and writer on a variety of health and wellness topics. Her writing has been featured on The Truth About Cancer, Cancer Tutor, and drjockers.com. Melissa is a health coach with drjockers.com and works with clients locally at Exodus Health Center and long distance through Skype. Melissa has a passion for educating people and gives interactive presentation on nutrition and health. She leads grocery shopping tours and presents workshops at Exodus. Melissa is board certified as a holistic health practitioner by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. She's a member of the International Association of Health Coaches and the Association of Health Coaches for Christ. Welcome, Melissa. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're going to talk about the ketogenic diet today because it's a buzzword in health centers. So what is the ketogenic diet?
The ketogenic diet is a nutrition plan that is comprised mostly of healthy fats with low amounts of carbohydrates and moderate amounts of protein. It basically trains your metabolism to be more flexible and use fat for fuel, both stored body fat and dietary fat, rather than sugar.
And why is it better to metabolize fats rather than sugars? Is there an advantage?
There's a lot of benefits to the ketogenic diet. It balances your blood sugar, which is one of the most important things. It reduces the amount of insulin that your body needs, and insulin triggers inflammation in the body. So by reducing the amount of insulin your body needs, you actually reduce inflammation in the body. The ketogenic diet reduces the amount of free radicals in your body, which can damage cells. So that's another way that it reduces inflammation. A lot of people lose weight on the ketogenic diet, so that's a plus. Like I said before, you actually burn fat and you can burn stored body fat, so you can see some fat loss with the ketogenic diet. Other benefits are mental clarity. A lot of people notice that they can think clearer, they're sharper, they can focus on things. And then also energy. That's probably one of the biggest things. People really notice that they have more steady energy during the day. You know, it's more when you have blood sugar imbalances, using glucose for fuel, your body can become very sluggish because your blood sugar is going up and down, and you can crash in the afternoons. But by using fat as fuel, you have a more steady fuel source. So your blood sugar stays steady throughout the day, giving you more energy. So that's one of the biggest bonuses of the ketogenic diet.
Okay, can you give us some examples of like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks on the ketogenic diet?
Yes, definitely. I actually love to lead shopping tours, like you mentioned before. And so when I go through my shopping tours, we go through the store and I discuss the foods that are great to eat on the ketogenic diet. So I'll talk about some of those foods and then I'll incorporate some ways to use them. I always start in the produce section, and you want to look at your non-starchy, low-carbohydrate vegetables, things like broccoli and Brussels sprouts and asparagus. They're all super nutritious, and they're great on the ketogenic diet. Leafy greens. I have pretty much salads every day for lunch. I recommend those to my clients that are on the ketogenic diet because you can use some MCT oil or olive oil, use healthy fats like avocados, nuts, clean protein sources, and make a big, beautiful salad that's very nutritious and also ketogenic. Another thing, fermented foods can be great on the ketogenic diet. They provide you with probiotics, so excellent for your gut microbiome. For meat sources, it's really important to look at the quality of the meat. There's a lot of different ways to do the ketogenic diet, but what I promote is using top quality meats and vegetables. You always want to use the fruits and vegetables with the lowest levels of pesticides, and I always refer people to the Environmental Working Group's list. They put out a list every year of the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen, and the Dirty Dozen are the fruits and vegetables with the highest amounts of pesticide residue. And then the clean 15 are the ones where you don't really have to spend that extra money to get organic because they don't have as much pesticide. So I always encourage, the organic fruits and vegetables. And then for meat, you want to look at grass-fed beef, bison, lamb. And then for chicken, always look for organic fed because you don't want the GMOs feed, a lot of conventional meats will have GMO feed. So you want to avoid that. And you want to look for pastured chicken. Fish, I love to show people the difference in the farmed salmon and the wild salmon. The wild salmon always has this bright, beautiful, dark red color. And then the farmed salmon is a pale, like orange, light orange color. And it's because they are, grown and barely can even swim around, in these small areas and fed toxic food. So always encourage you to purchase the wild caught salmon and not the farmed. In the pantry aisles, I always take people to the coconut products because coconuts are great on a ketogenic diet. In the morning, I recommend smoothies. You can do a shake with some non-fat coconut milk. Some berries. Berries are a low glycemic fruit. You only use about a 1/4 cup on the ketogenic diet, but you can do that during with your smoothie. And I love frozen for that because it gives it that icy texture. And then you can also put avocado in your smoothie. So that's a way to have a ketogenic breakfast. Another breakfast would be eggs, and again, you want the pastured organic eggs, but that's a great breakfast, and you can cook them in some coconut oil. When they're done, pour some olive oil or MCT oil on top, and that's just a great breakfast. Other coconut products, I always tell people about coconut butter because a lot of people haven't ever heard of that, but it's basically made out of the coconut flesh, and it's creamy and delicious, and it tastes so decadent when you're eating it. It almost tastes sweet. So a lot of people can satisfy some of their cravings with that. One thing about the ketogenic diet, though, I have to say is cravings are really reduced. Your blood sugar is balanced, and without those blood sugar swings, you're going to notice you're not craving those carbohydrates like you used to, once you get into the keto diet. After the coconut products, there's coconut flour, other things like that. You can put some coconut flakes in the freezer for a snack. Another great snack are sea snacks. It's actually seaweed sheets, and they're crunchy and salty with olive oil, so they're delicious. And then the dairy, you always want to look at the grass-fed dairy. They have grass-fed raw cheeses. Butter and ghee are amazing, great on the ketogenic diet. They have CLA, so very healthy. It's really, I think most people now, especially with the popularity of the ketogenic diet, have finally gotten out of that mindset that fat's bad that we heard so much in the 80s and 90s, and people are understanding the benefits actually of eating healthy fats. So butter is back is what I like to say because it's delicious, and grass-fed butter, I add that to, cook. You can add it to your vegetables, wherever you want, but it's a great way to get those healthy fats in and stay in ketosis.
Yeah, because your brain is mostly fat, so we do need fats.
Absolutely. And that's why, when all the low-fat stuff came out, that was, my teenage and early adulthood, and I regret now that I didn't get those healthy fats those years. So I'm really trying, and that's one thing parents can really think about is these foods. We don't recommend a ketogenic diet for children, but these same foods are super healthy for kids. So make sure your kids are eating plenty of those healthy fats for their healthy brains. And these berries have lots of antioxidants, and then the vegetables, it's just really important to use, so you don't have to cook 2 different meals is basically what I'm trying to say, because these foods are also very important for kids. You can just add some moderate carbohydrate, like sweet potatoes are a great example for kids. Put cinnamon to balance blood sugar, and some butter, and just great meal for a kid too.
Okay, and for lunch we would suggest a salad with, you mentioned MCT oil. Some people may not know what it is. Would you elaborate elaborate on that?
Yes, it's actually a form of coconut oil, but it's 100% medium chain triglycerides. So it actually helps you produce ketones. There's many different ones on the market now. Coconut oil has some long chain triglycerides in addition to the medium chain. So the MCT is actually produces ketones quicker than like a coconut oil would. So it's basically a way to quickly produce ketones. And you can put that on your salad. You can put it on your eggs. You know, you can do eggs for lunch. You can do basically a version of what I do for dinner, which is just a clean protein source, a lot of healthy fats, some herbs. Herbs are great to use, either fresh or dried. I love fresh herbs. And then, you know, some low carbohydrate vegetables like I was talking about. And you can really mix it up because there's so many vegetables you can use. Cauliflower rice is really big now. It's even found in the frozen section. You can find organic frozen cauliflower rice, and it's delicious. It's really one of my favorite things to incorporate because you can make curries with it. You can, you know, substitute it in any kind of dish, and I really love that.
Well, let's go back to basic. I don't think we talked about what is ketones. So what are ketones?
Well, ketones are actually produced by your liver. And so when you're eating fats, your liver will convert the fat into ketones, which are then transported to your cells for energy.
Okay. And you mentioned ketone diet is not the best for children. Now, would you explain that?
Well, we don't recommend it for kids. Children are growing, and it's just, I feel like they need more carbohydrates than adults. Adults can get keto adapted, but with children, we just feel that it's important that they have a more of a balance on their macronutrients than adults.
So how do you get keto
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
How do you get keto adapted?
Well, that is when you're within 1 or 2 or 3 days of actually eating a ketogenic diet, your body will start to produce ketones. But keto adapted is when your liver starts converting the fat into ketones, and basically you're making ketones at rest. So that's keto adapted, and that can take 2 to 3 weeks. But I really want to caution everyone, don't just jump into a keto diet. I mean, I always encourage my clients to go slow. And it really depends on where you're starting. If you're starting where you're having 400 grams of carbohydrates every day, and you start having 40 grams of carbohydrates every day, you're going to have all of those negative side effects that you can see with ketogenic diet. So you first, if you're new to all of this, what I encourage you to do is just start eating low carbohydrate. Take out those refined sugars and refined carbohydrates, and just start eating more of like the foods I was mentioning earlier, but maybe having some sweet potatoes and some of the moderate carbohydrate vegetables also. But take baby steps to get into this. If you're already eating very healthy, then you can go ahead and start a more ketogenic type lifestyle. But I do encourage you to work with someone, find a good program to follow. Don't just try to do it on your own. I have clients come to me when they tried to do it on their own and they're really struggling. So I encourage you to work with someone.
Yeah, my station, so I started that ketogenic diet. I'm not hungry all the time. I remember when I used to go anywhere, I would be sure I packed food so that I could eat every 2 hours because my blood sugar would drop. And now, you know, I may take a little snack. I go for a hike and I know I'm not going to be hungry. I'm not so worried about food.
Yes, and it's freeing. It really is. Once you are adapted and your body is burning fat for fuel, you don't have those cravings. You're not hungry all day. It balances your blood sugar so that your energy is more stable, your mind is more stable. You know, a lot of people when they're sugar burners, and this was me, you know, my moods were so unstable. And so, you know, especially having a lot of little kids at home, and this was when my kids were younger. I had 4 under 4 at one time. And so it was really, and I was eating sugar all day. So my mood was just unstable, and I would, you know, yell at my kids and get upset. So doing this type of diet and lifestyle is really better for your emotional stability also, I have found. So I really recommend it for parents when you've got, you know, because being a parent is incredibly stressful. And it can be really hard, and not having to worry about eating all day like you were just mentioning, and having those hangry times like we were talking about before we started, you know, where you're hungry and angry, you know, you're just more level. I mean, it's good for your family, it's good for you. So I encourage you to try it if you haven't tried it. And, you know, if you don't want to go all the way keto, just try incorporating more of these healthy fats, you know, and more of the low carb lifestyle.
One of the first things I started to do, I love chocolate. I'm from Switzerland, so I grew up on chocolate, dark chocolate, and I make that awesome chocolate mousse with avocado.
Yes.
It's delicious.
Avocados can be used to make so many desserts. We actually have a lot of dessert recipes, keto dessert recipes on our website. So I encourage everyone to check those out. They're really
yeah, I've been working with those. They are incredible, yes. Can you briefly describe what's happening when you eat sugar? Why do you get hungry, like we were saying?
Well, when you consume sugar, your body releases a lot of insulin to try to carry the sugar to the cells. And basically what happens is your blood sugar increases and then insulin is released, and then what will happen is your blood sugar will drop. So you're basically, it's like a zigzag up and down throughout the day. And then you need more sugar to get your blood sugar back up. So it's just like a vicious cycle of sugar going up, sugar going down, up, crash, up, crash. And so, you know, you can be hungry. Hypoglycemia can lead to a lot of different things. And by hypoglycemia, I mean low blood sugar can cause issues with rest. And if you're not sleeping, sleep is one of the most important things as a parent. I feel more than diet. You got to get your rest at night. And a lot of my clients, and even me at one time, I remember I wasn't sleeping well and my blood sugar was dropping during the night, and it was waking me up because I was eating poorly during the day. And so what was happening is, you know, at night it just would wake me up and I wasn't resting well. So if any of you are struggling with sleep, you should investigate that, because that could actually be one of the causes of not sleeping well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're ready to reach for, you know, a snack or something so you can continue to sleep. Absolutely. All right. If you had one advice for our parents, one inspiration, what would it be?
Well, that's a great question. You know, I've got 2 sets of twins, and I had the second set when the boys were, my older set were 4, and it's been my older set are 16 today. So it's been a long road. It's been a great road, but my biggest takeaway or advice I would have for parents is self-care. It's so hard to take care of ourselves sometimes when we've got little kids at home, and it's just critical that you do. Get outside, hire someone from the neighborhood to come watch your kid for an hour, and go outside, go for a walk, get out in nature, feel the sunshine on your face, take baths at night after you get them down, put some Epsom salt in there for some detox and relaxation. You get magnesium, and eat healthy. Focus on your nutrition so that you'll be as strong and stable and steady for your kids as you can be, and so that you'll feel better, so you can enjoy those years. When my kids were little was when my health tanked, which is why I'm in this career now. I was actually a litigator, had 2 sets of twins, had a health crisis, and that's what, you know, totally turned my life around, because I started studying nutrition and became a health coach. And I wish I would have taken care of myself when they were young, because I wasn't eating right, and I ended up, you know, harming my health from not taking care of myself. So that's my biggest thing, is take care of yourself. Really practice nutrition, work with a health coach if you need to, just whatever will give you the support that you need, and reach for help. Anytime you need help, reach out to people. People will come help you. You know, just don't try to do it on your own. Don't try to be super mom. Just ask for help and take care of yourself. That's the biggest advice I could give.
That's great advice. Don't wait for a health crisis to turn your life around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Melissa. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you for all your instruction.